Imagine your grandpa celebrating his 85th birthday and everyone is around him, his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, his friends. If he was a teacher, his former students. And right there during the celebration, some people actually clap and admire him. Some secretly wish that they were like him. Some secretly wish that they have achieved what he had achieved in life. This mixture of celebration, respect, memory, pride, envy, fulfillment, and hope is exactly what the poem Hearty Garlands by S.O.H. Afriyie is all about. So without further ado, let's go straight into the poem. Yes, welcome. My name is Auntie Lara, as you already know, and to all of my students that stayed, I'm so sorry I was MIA. Your teacher is also a student, so, so I'm back now. And let's start with the background. The poem celebrates a man who is 85 years old, and in many African societies, old age is respected because elders are seen as people of wisdom, experience, sacrifice, and achievement. Right? So now the speaker and others gather to honor this old man for what? His long life, his achievements, his mentorship, and his positive impact on the society. Now the garlands, the garlands that they wear, like laurel, like it's usually made with flower, on their neck. Now the garlands symbolize praise, honor, celebration, and appreciation. Let's start with the title, Hearty. What comes to your mind when you hear the word hearty? Hearty means cheerful. Hearty means warm, sincere, joyful, cheerful. And garlands, like I said, the flowers used to honor people during celebrations. The title means warm and sincere praises given to someone deserving of honor. So from the title, you could know, from the title, you can deduce that this is a praise poem. So let me read through the poem. For a person who has lived as long, and one who, as well, has done much as you, life's whole process blooms into stark beauty, and failures give no trite, crippling regrets. For someone who has lived who is as old as you, and who has done so much as yourself. Okay, that's the poem persona. Okay, life's whole process blooms into stark beauty. Everything, you've passed through all of those ordeals, all of those obstacles, everything. Okay, now becomes beautiful. Yet, on occasion, shamed, horrid, green-eyed envy fights benign felicitation, exclusively couched for you. By us, who won't be left out of today's joy, I must send you warm, hearty birthday gallant. And no matter how much we celebrate you, no matter how much a lot of people celebrate you, just know that amongst those people that are celebrating you, it is their celebration is not genuine. Okay? There are some people that are envying you, like they are envying you. There are some people that are envying you because, trust me, it's not everybody that gets to live to that kind of age and live a fulfilled life. So let me read through the poem. For a person who has lived as long, and one who, as well, has done much as you, life's whole process blooms into stark beauty, and failures give no trite, crippling regrets. For someone who has lived who is as old as you, and who has done so much as yourself. Okay, that's the poem persona. Okay, life's whole process blooms into stark beauty. Everything, you've passed through all of those ordeals, all of those obstacles, everything. Okay, now becomes beautiful. Yet, on occasion, shamed, horrid, green-eyed envy fights benign felicitation, exclusively couched for you. By us, who won't be left out of today's joy, I must send you warm, hearty birthday gallant. And no matter how much we celebrate you, no matter how much a lot of people celebrate you, just know that their celebration is not genuine. Okay? There are some people that are envying you like you, because trust me, it's not everybody that gets to live to that kind of age and live a fulfilled life. For them, okay, for the personal, what they want to do is they don't want to be left out of today's joy. They want to send, celebration, felicitation, okay, and that is Hearty Birthday Garlands. You wondrous mentor of rogues like us, receive copious blessings today, and stay well blessed. To you, age 85 is life's smiley, cloudless dawn. It is the gameful twilight of fulfilled dreams. See, you must accept this celebration. You must allow us to celebrate you, because for you to mentor rogues, like, people that they call rogues, like tough people, imagine you're a student, you are a teacher, and then you have some student, and you're like, is this kind of student that everybody complains about? And you're like, after years after, you now look back and say, there was this particular teacher that actually, took all our excesses and still mentored us. This is the category where this man falls into. Okay? So he says, see, I don't care if there are some people here that are having, that are envying you, right? You deserve it. You have worked for it. Okay? So he says, see, you wondrous mentor of rogues like us, like wondrous mentor, like it's that kind of mentor is something that is, that is wonderful, that brings joy. You must receive copious blessings today, whether you like it or not. Whether some people are envying you, whether some people are not happy. See, we are going to celebrate you and stay blessed. To you, 85 is life's smiley, cloudless dawn. It is gameful twilight of fulfilled dream. Like 85 is like the beginning to you. It's like a dawn to you. Do you get? It's a fulfilled dream. Like you can count your blessings to say, I really did well. Okay. Hope now not in contented concert with spent desire. Now restful hope neither nags nor raves nor rant at you. Like at this point, you're not living in denial. You're not living in regret that what are the things I have achieved? I've not achieved so much, because trust me, it's not everybody that attained this age, that are fulfilled. So he says, see, hope now not in contented concerts, like with spent desires. Now restful hope neither nags nor raves nor rant at you. There's no problem. Everything. Well, you encountered whatever, troubles, but then you're able to overcome every, right? But your heart sits on garlanded satis shores, looking out to sea for health-delivering vessels. And from the subdued height of your lofty conquered toils, and from flight of vanquished sects, at 85, must you watch us strive and beat your mahogany chest in pride. You must shake your own hands like Iroquois, like give yourself that accolade. Like, yes. There's some people that, they know that they have lived a free life. They know that they have touched lives. And so they're not even scared of that old age. Like, look, I have done well. So he's saying, you see, that your height of 85 years, that your height, so he says, from that subdued height of your lofty conquered toils, all of your struggles that you have conquered, all of your tribulations that you have conquered, right? From that height, that conquered height now, that victorious height now, you must watch us strive, because it's a process that almost everybody has to follow. So you must watch us strive and beat your mahogany chest in pride. You must shake your own hand like Iroko Agama. Do you get? They are telling him, look, it's not a time for you to now say, okay, I'm weak, I'm this, I'm... No. You must look down, shake your, appreciate yourself, encourage yourself. You understand that you have done well. March on, old boy. Do and clinch yonder untamed gain, for yon lines mop up work and higher tax still by you to be accomplished. Then must you hear trumpet sound, that to a guru must blow solo musical bravos. So see, at that height that you are, it's not your stopping place. March on. Continue. It says, march on, old boy, do, and clinch yonder untamed gain. For yon lines mock up work and higher task still by you. To be a higher task still by you to be accomplished. Then must you hear trumpet sound, that we guru must blow solo musical bravo. Like even the trumpet sounds will tell you have done well, my good and faithful servant. So you see, at this point, it's not the time where you have to show weakness. Okay, there are still higher tasks that you still need to what to accomplish, that still needs to be accomplished by you. And until you fulfill all of those things, that is when you can now, hear like, welcome my son. Okay, so now as you give yourself a cozy comfy street today, reclining in reminiscing and fondling a lingering smile. So as you are relaxed and you are thinking about all of the good things that you have achieved in life, all of the lives that you have touched, and you are smiling, could you, a certain style of locomotion, all your own, recall, best and aptly but simply dubbed poetic walking? Now, like as you are reclining, you are enjoying, you are remembering the sweet memories, and it's just bringing smile to you. Like, could you remember, like, so it's not just his achievements, but then I feel is asking him if he could remember even the way he carried himself, right? While he was still, young at heart, So like a certain style of locomotion on your own recall, best and aptly, but simply dubbed poetic walking. Like even is the way he moved could be admired, okay? So much that they had to give the way he was walking a name, poetic walking. And it's about poetic walking, meaning that it means that poems, it's all about beauty, okay? Poetry is about beauty, okay? Meaningful, inspiring. So everything about the man, even to his walking, inspires them, okay? So that is the summary of Hearty Garlands, all right? Okay. So let's start with stanza 1. For a person who has lived as long and one who as well has done much as you. Here, the speaker begins by praising the celebrant. The man is not only old, he has also achieved many things. The poet suggests, long life alone is not enough. Long life alone is not enough. What matters is impact. Because some people would actually live so long, and at the end of the day, they have nothing to show for it. No impact whatsoever to show for it. So let's imagine two people living up to old age. One wasted his life, like he has nothing to show for it. And the second one actually impacted lives. I'm sure that you would definitely admire and celebrate the person that made impact, okay, in the course of his journey in life than the other one who wasted his life. So it's the second caliber of people who impacted positively that this poem is celebrating. Life is compared to a flower blooming beautifully. Now this life's whole process blooms into stark beauty. Life's whole process blooms into stark beauty. Life here is compared to a flower blooming beautifully. Life's whole process blooms into stark beauty. So that means that life is compared to a flower blooming beautifully, and this means that the struggle, the successes, the failures and experiences have all combined to create a beautiful life. Life's whole process blooms into stark beauty. Life's whole process blooms into stark beauty, and failures gives no trite, crippling regret. So that means that life is compared to a flower blooming beautifully, and it means that all of the struggle, the success, the failures and experiences have all combined to create a beautiful life. You know, just imagine someone who struggled with poverty, sickness, hard work, and sacrifice, but later becomes respected and fulfilled. Okay? Now, the pain and everything that he had gone through eventually makes sense. And failures give no trite, crippling regret. Now, the old man has failures, but he does not live in regret. Okay? Because at the end of the day, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? So, crippling regret means painful regret that destroys peace of mind. And with this, we say that at 85, the man feels fulfilled enough that his failures no longer torture him. Because in life, there will be ups and there will be downs. Okay? In stanza 2, yet, on occasion, shamed, hurried, green-eyed envy fights benign felicitation. And this is one of the deepest parts of the poem. And of course, it introduces jealousy because green-eyed envy means you're jealous. Okay? Even during celebration, some people are secretly jealous. When someone buys a new car or becomes successful, some genuinely celebrate, others smile outside but envy inside. Okay? And the poet understands human nature deeply, and he realizes that even though some would genuinely celebrate and be happy for him, there are some that are green with envy. Okay? For you, by us, who won't be left out of today's joy. We would join in celebrating you. This, of course, shows community celebration. And must send you warm, hearty birthday garlands. Now, the people present the old man with praise and honor. And the garland, of course, symbolize, not like garland, like physical garland. The garland can symbolize appreciation, admiration, celebration. And in stanza 3, you wondrous mentors of rogues like us. We may not be perfect, but you guided us. So here, the man is referred to as a mentor who guided younger people, okay? Rogues like us. It means that he guided imperfect people, okay? He admitted that, yes, we actually gave you a tough time, okay? Now, we may not be perfect. He admitted, okay? He considered himself or themselves as rogues, okay? The kind of people, you know, like teachers, you know, there are some students that just know that, no, am I going to be having this class today? Oh, no, not this student, you understand? But then this set of people eventually realized that even though we were trying to be tough, but this man, you know, guided us, you know, in love. So you wondrous mentor of rogues like us. We may not be perfect, but you guided us. So the speaker is admitting, and of course, we have the theme of mentorship here. So that means that the old man did not only succeed personally, he also helped others grow. You wondrous mentors of rogues like us. We may not be perfect, but you guided us. Receive copious blessings today and stay well blessed. Now, here, the speaker prays for him from the bottom of his heart. Okay? Copious blessing means abundant blessings. And of course, this reflects African communal culture, why as elders, you know, are celebrated publicly with prayers. Age 85 is life smiley, cloudless, done. This is a very powerful imagery. It is so because it's usually dawn means beginning. But here, old age is described as peaceful and bright. Age 85 is life smiley, cloudless, dawn. Cloudless means peace. There is no confusion. There is calmness. Okay? And dawn means beginning. So it's not that you are about to die. This is just like the beginning, because you've done so much that we do not even expect that you die now. We want you to still keep living and keep enjoying. All right? And of course, there's a sense of irony here because old age, at 85, old age is it's considered as weakness. You know, when you get old, you grow weak. But in this light, the poet persona is, telling him that this is just the beginning. That you're not going to grow old and suffer. You are getting older, and you are just starting like a new beginning, a new dawn for you. All right, it is the gainful twilight of fulfilled dreams. Twilight means evening stage of life, and the point means that the old man is in the evening of his life, but it is rewarding because his dreams were fulfilled. Okay, and so we move to the next stanza. Hope now nods on contented concert with pent desires. Now restful hope neither nags, nor raves, nor rants. But your heart sits on gallant satyr's shore, looking out to sea for health delivering vessels. Now, stanza 4 is talking about that the old man's hope and desires are now peaceful, is satisfied, he no longer desperately chases ambition, he has everything, he has money, he has fame, he has success already, So when you are fulfilled and at old age, you are calm. Okay, you are not scared of, I have children, I have grandchildren, I have this, it's calm. Okay. Now, where it says, now restful hope neither nags, nor raves, nor rants. Now, hope here is personified. And here, the person is saying that the old man is no longer anxious, you are no longer frustrated, when you get to a particular age or stage in your life and you look back, you realize that you've really not achieved much. You tend to be cranky, okay? So here, this is this now restful hope neither nags, nor raves, nor rants, okay? So now it's fulfilled. So let's start with the theme. The first is the celebration of life. Like, there's no way you can talk about this poem and you're not talking about celebration of life, because that is the bedrock, the genesis and revelation of this poem. They're celebrating the life well spent, okay? And it's still going to be well spent, because even at 85, he's encouraged to not be like others that will just relax and, you still have a lot to achieve. So here, you just quote lines of poem that, that addresses this. Then we have aging and fulfillment. You already know, so go back to the line of the poem. Aging and fulfillment, like, as you are getting older, you are getting over obstacles, and at the end of the day, you grow, and you grow up to be celebrated, okay, because you've gone through all those trials and you are stronger, okay. And of course, old age is now presented as something positive, okay. Old age is now peaceful, fulfilled, respected, okay, because you've done well with yourself. Then there is the theme of mentorship, where it says, just stay, okay. How that he was able to mentor rogues like them, you understand? So that talks about mentorship. You explain that part, like, so it's not just about his own fulfillment. He also, in his lifetime, touched others, mentored others, even not just ordinary people, rogues, people that other people might want to like say, let me just leave them. He took them, okay, and shaping them. All right. So we also have envy and human nature. It's not everybody that will celebrate you, and that's can be fine. I think in stanza 1, it is not everybody that will celebrate you. So we have some people secretly envying. Where you have the green eye envy, so you just talk about that. You explain that. We have the theme of hard work and achievement. This man had worked and he had achieved it. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to be putting so I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to be putting the evidences, the part of the poem that, justifies all of those. Then we have the theme of hope and continuity, so that even at old age, there is still a purpose. Don't be like others that would just relax. And so even at old age, there is still a purpose, all right? So hope and continuity, you back it up, okay, with line of the poem. So let's go to poetic devices. We have symbolism, We have the gallands. Okay, gallands represents honor. It represents honor, prestige. Okay, given to one. All right, because not everybody that wears the gallands. Then we have the trumpet. Trumpet is also it symbolizes recognition. Okay, and then we have mahogany. Mahogany represents strength. You know the mahogany tree, right? It represents strength. Okay, then we have sea and vessels represent health and hope. We have imagery. Okay, I am sure that you know if you are asked poetic devices, they will tell you. They will not ask you to mention anyone. They will tell you. They will be specific about a poetic devices that you have to write on. So make sure that you first define. Don't assume that they know the definition. Just define first. If they say, okay, explain the use of imagery and symbolism in Hearty Garlands, before you start with the same. You already know. First paragraph. Second paragraph now. You're starting with imagery. You start with definition of imagery. Okay, this is painting a mental picture. All right. You define imagery, and then you start to bring out where imagery can be found. Okay. A good example, or the first example of, or the first good use of imagery in the poem is in the line. You quote the line. Okay. You quote that imagery, which represents. Do you understand? Right. So imagery. We have flowers, we have sea, dawn, twilight, celebration, personification, hope, envy. We have, yeah. So I'm just going to be giving quotation so you can pause and jot it down, right? Then we have metaphor. Life is compared to blooming flower, sea journey, twilight. Then the tone of the poem is that of celebration, respect, reflective, admiration. While the mood of the poem is joyful, peaceful, inspirational, warm. Okay, and when you are reading it, you feel respect, and you really want to do something good, with your life, so that when you grow to, you can also be celebrated, right? So the mood is inspirational. The verse is free verse in the sense that it does not have a specific structure. Okay, I don't know if I've explained free verse and in my whatever, but it's free because it's not following any pattern. You know that there are rhyme schemes, right? So it's not following either rhyme scheme or whatever. Is not following that. It's just writing it as the spirit leads. In fact, one line can be just 2 words, while the next line can be like 5 words, while the other line can be like 4 words. It's not following the specific pattern, so it is free. Okay. Yeah. So now, the loose structure makes it sound natural, like a speech during celebration. And the final message of the poem is that the poet teaches that a meaningful life is better than merely living long. It's not your old age that we want. How well did you live your years? Aging should be respected. People should honor mentors and elders. Fulfillment comes from impact, not just wealth. The poem also reminds young people, live in such a way that one day people will genuinely celebrate your life. And with this, we've come to the end of Hearty Garlands. I hope that you've been able to gain 1 or 2 things. Okay. So if you find this video helpful, do share with your loved ones, share with your friends. Do not hold this page. Let them know that something amazing is happening on this page. Let them know that this is where they need to be. Okay, share this video, share the link with them. Let them also benefit from it. And like, comment, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.